Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this session for the CAI introducing the Canada and Latin American Research and Exchange Opportunity, CALAREO Consortium. I have the pleasure to introduce the first speaker, Dr. Dean. Dr. Dean was born in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and moved to Canada in the early 60s. He earned an honors degree from McGill University, a master in mathematics from University of Waterloo, and his PhD from Queen University. His area of research is in infinite dimensional representations of finite dimensional algebras. Dr. Dean came to Lakehead University in 2008 as Dean of Science and Environmental Studies, and he was appointed Vice President of Research and Innovation in 2015. He has served on an advisory boards and committees, and he is currently chair of the Thunder Bay Regional Health Research Institute Board of Directors and past chair of the Ontario Council on University Research. Dr. Dean is the founding chair of the Canada and Latin American Research and Exchange Opportunity, CALAREO Consortium.
Thank you very much for the introduction. It's always interesting to hear your own introduction. It's a great pleasure to be part of CAI again. We were there a couple of years ago, and it's hello again. It's a great pleasure to be part of CAI again, and great congratulations to everyone on the organization of this event. It's truly a worldwide event. And what we have the pleasure of doing today is just giving you a quick overview of CALAREO Consortium. I'll run through a few slides, and then other members of the consortium will do their parts as well. And then Joe Sherman, who's the secretary, will wrap up with some of the most important things about different kind of funding opportunities. So our consortium consists of 5 universities, truly a coast-to-coast institution consortium in Canada. And if we go to the next slide. So it's a consortium of 5 Canadian universities, which supports student mobility and research collaborations between Canadian member institutions and, of course, Latin American universities. And that's what the LA stands for in the CALAREO. So the 5 institutions are ETS in Quebec, Vancouver Island University on the West Coast, Lakehead University in the center of the country, Carleton University in our nation's capital, and Memorial University on the far East Coast. Okay, next slide. So we were established 2017, so already are 4 years, and our mission, we have 4 missions. One is to encourage, facilitate, and support student mobility between our members and Latin American institutions, very much so, very much at the graduate level in particular. To establish a scholarship program, we have done this to allow Latin American students to study at Canadian member institutions, and to encourage, facilitate, and support research collaborations between our institutions and Latin American institutions. And of course, to really encourage partnerships that result in national and international grants to enhance these collaborations and training. Next slide, please. So we are diverse, and we go from coast to coast. We go across 4.5 different time zones, almost 7,200 kilometers, truly the most widespread consortium you could possibly have in Canada, as we go from Vancouver Island on the west coast to Newfoundland Island on the east coast. And we offer a wide range of research and education programs, but we do have some things in common, although our institutions are a bit different. And I think one of the things that besides student-centered and research excellence, the one thing that I think is really important is we're very much about being regional universities serving our needs in our region and also our home communities, including Indigenous communities. Okay, next one. So we're going to present from west to east, so from the earliest time zone to the latest. And I'm happy to introduce the very first presenter, which is Ms. Jennifer Siles, Manager of Education Abroad from Vancouver Island University.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for hosting this session to the CAIE organizers. It's my absolute pleasure to be with you this morning on behalf of Vancouver Island University in beautiful Nanaimo, British Columbia, although at this hour of the day, it's actually quite cold and dark and rainy. I'd like to start by gratefully acknowledging and thanking the Snuneymuxw First Nation on whose traditional territory I speak from today, and on whose traditional land we teach, learn, research, live, and share knowledge here at VIU. Next slide, please. Vancouver Island University is a comprehensive teaching-focused institution with a diverse range of interests and expertise. There are approximately 14,000 students with multiple campuses across the Mid-Island region of Vancouver Island and the Sunshine Coast. We have deep roots in the communities in which we serve, dating back to our early days as a community college. Next slide, please. We offer a full range of undergraduate programs as well as trades and technical programs, which gives our campus a very diverse, inclusive feel and a reputation for both excellence and accessibility. Next slide, please. Our graduate programs include master's, graduate certificate, and diploma programs in business, leisure, recreation, and tourism, hospitality, community planning, GIS, and education. Next slide, please. And just as faculty and research universities teach, faculty and teaching universities do research. Faculty across VIU are engaged in research to contribute knowledge to their discipline, enhance their teaching practices, mentor students in deep learning experiences, and to engage with external community partners. VIU is home to a number of research institutes and centers that provide supportive clusters for researchers to undertake interdisciplinary inquiry and address questions relevant to our region and society. These researchers and entities provide significant opportunities for undergraduate and graduate level learning experiences through research. Next slide, please. A few highlights of our research portfolio: 1.2 million in federal research funding, 1.3 million Canadian in awarded research infrastructure, over $500,000 in external student research funding, and something that we're very proud of, over 121 projects led by faculty and students involving community partners. Next slide, please. Our research focus areas reflect an inclusive sphere of interdisciplinary themes that align with existing strengths and priority areas of the institution and region. Our research strengths and focus areas include health, resilience, and well-being, focusing on the study of human environmental health with the aim of improving adaptive capacity of humans and systems such that greater levels of resilience and well-being are achieved. Integrated sciences, technology, and environment. Over the past decade, research centers and institutes have emerged in areas such as analytical mass spectrometry and environmental chemistry, shellfish aquaculture and genomics, and sturgeon research. Through the establishment of these centers, VIU has developed expertise that is both regionally relevant and internationally significant. Resilience of island, coastal, and rural regions. This research focus area enables researchers to study the realities, adaptive responses, and consequences of people, communities, and organizations in island, coastal, and rural regions. Innovation, entrepreneurship, and social change. This research theme will enable researchers to identify and monitor changes in the business and management models used across sectors, as well as the associated outcomes of innovation and social change. Cultural heritage and creative expression. Research related to this theme deepens inquiry and creative activity to explore the various ways a culture or cultures Use or have used literary, political, social, and artistic forms of creative expression. Equity, diversity, and social justice. As a values-based institution, VIU is committed to respect, diversity, and to promoting respectful, informed discourse about reciprocity and reconciliation. Researchers studying in this area advance knowledge and inform practice on equity and social justice issues. And finally, teaching and learning. This inquiry into teaching and learning has practical value in that it enhances the learning experiences of students while enabling faculty to continuously improve their teaching practices. This focus area will enable VIU to make significant contributions to and position itself as a leader in the scholarship of teaching and learning. Next slide, please. Thank you for your interest in Vancouver Island University research activities.
Here's a slide behind.
Oh.
Thanks, Jennifer. Next slide, please. Okay, I'll speak about Lakehead University. So here's a picture of some of our international students on top of Mount McKay, and you can see Lake Superior in the background, the biggest freshwater lake in the world. Next slide, please. True. Right. So we have our academic faculties, and Lakehead University, like Vancouver Island, is truly a comprehensive university, ranging from law schools to business administration to natural resource management, one of our stronger faculties in terms of our history. Next slide, please. So our research priorities, every university in Canada has research priorities, and we have 5 of them, which range from the social sciences and culture, society, and social justice. 2, as I mentioned, sustainability, resources, and in the environment, very much related to our history and to who we are and where we are. We also, in our research plan, developed research initiatives. And one of the ones that was new for our research initiatives this time around was the internationalization of research. We believe that CALAREO is one of the pillars of this internationalization of research for the university as a whole. Next slide, please. So it is a research intensive university. We have 13 research centers and institutes, including a biorefining research institute, finding new things to do with the forest where we are situated, and Center of Excellence for Sustainable Mining and Exploration. One of the interesting facts, which I always like, is that we have 16% of our student body is international, 16% are graduate students, and 16% are Indigenous students, mainly First Nation students. We have 33 masters and 9 doctoral programs, including a new PhD in health sciences and 21 research chairs, including 11 Canada research chairs. So the Lakehead advantage, I think this is one where things pop up. So if you can just press all the buttons. So there's a picture of us in the winter. It does exist. We are the #1 research university in Canada for 5 years in a row in our peer category, which is the small universities. We're also #1 not-for-profit research income in Canada in our category. And one that we're very proud of is we're in the top 100 in the world for impact rankings linked to the UN Sustainable Development Goals for last year and the year before. Next slide, please. And now we move to Carleton.
Hello, I'm Karen Schwartz, Associate Vice President, Research and International, and I'll be telling you a little bit about Carleton University. As you can see, this is a picture of a part of our campus, and the Rideau River is alongside it. So we are located in the nation's capital in Ottawa, and we say that we have a capital advantage because we can take advantage of federal government facilities and heads of NGOs and different organizations like that to add to the student experience. We were founded in 1942, and we're on a UNESCO World Heritage Site between the Rideau River and the historic Rideau Canal. Next slide, please. So on the right, you can see a map that shows you all of our international initiatives worldwide. And so this includes our 98 memorandums of understanding in 44 countries. And you can see they're dispersed throughout the world. We don't focus on specific countries, though certainly Central and South America is a very important region for us. We have 178 student exchange partners in 39 countries. We have 4,542 international students, which is 14% of our total enrollment. And we've had 124 visiting scholar applications from 24 countries in the past couple of years. We have 27 plus research mobility grants involving 8 countries. Next slide, please. Research strengths. And so as everybody has highlighted their research strengths, these are Carleton's research strengths. And the thing that's important for me is that we're a very multidisciplinary university. And so when we look at these different research areas, we look at it from different perspectives. So if you think of autonomous vehicles, there's a policy aspect of vehicles and autonomous vehicles. And so our different policy scholars are working in that area. There's also the computer science aspects, the engineering aspects, and the design aspects. And so we have researchers from numerous faculties that all collaborate in these areas of research. Cybersecurity is another one. There's obvious policy aspects to that. Global refugees is, we have a great deal of funding, and some of our funding is involves training refugees in refugee camps to do the research for us, because they will have a more authentic experience with other refugees and can collect richer data so that we can learn more about the experience of global refugees. Next slide, please. Some of our research highlights, Carleton's research income has grown to more than $81 million, an increase of more than 50% over, I have our little faces in front of my slide, so I can't see everybody, can't see all the words, over the last 2 years. We've achieved the highest research income growth among comprehensive universities in Canada in 2019. We placed 3rd in Canada for research income growth. We are the only university to rank in the top 3 for both 2019 and 2020, according to Research Info Source. And according to Maclean's University, we've maintained our top 5 position in 2020 from the previous year for the Maclean's rankings. Next slide, please. As with the other universities, we are a comprehensive university. These are our various faculties. The interesting part about some of our programs is we have 2 programs where an international experience is a mandatory part of the program. Sometimes it can be challenging to get Canadian students to travel abroad for research or exchange or internships. And so having it be a mandatory part of the program really assists us in encouraging Canadian students to travel. So in our business school, we have a Bachelor of International Business. And so it is required for them to do an internship or some kind of international experience. And in public affairs, we have a Bachelor of Global and International Studies. And it's also a requirement for them to engage in an international experience. All of our faculties have undergraduate programs, master's programs, and PhD programs, as well as some programs, for example, in business, there's the MBA, which we have in, we provide it in various countries. And that's the end of Carleton. Thank you.
So I will continue with ETS. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Amélie Aymar, International Affairs Manager here at ETS. I'm very happy to be with you today. To give you a bit of an understanding of ETS, it is an engineering and research training university based in Montreal, Quebec. And as you can see here on the presentation, you have some of the buildings that we have here at ETS. We are based in the city center of Montreal. To give you a bit more about ETS and its numbers, next slide, please. ETS, as I mentioned, is an engineering and research training school. We are recognized for our applied training, including co-op internships all through the undergraduate program. We are first in Quebec and second in Canada in terms of number of undergraduate students in engineering. And we have over 10,000 students at all levels here at ETS. ETS, as I mentioned, is really well known for its a practical and innovative aspect, including the Santec, which is an incubator, an accelerator for entrepreneurship. And we are really well known in the international scope. Next slide, please. ETS is very excited to continuously work on international collaboration. It can be through short exchanges, research projects, joint programs, as well as welcoming international students at all levels. International partnerships with more than 100 educational institutions allow us to help students go through their program with different aspects of opportunities that they have. As you can see here, more than 55% of our graduate students are from abroad, and we have over 2,000 international students at all three degree levels. Next slide, please. Here you have an idea of the different types of programs that we offer. At the undergraduate level, we have 7 programs with 5 departments, over 30 specialties. On the right, you have a couple of examples of different specialties that we offer. At the master's program, we have 2 options. We have a project-based in master's and a thesis-based master's. For the project-based, it's mainly done in French, as the courses are offered in French, whereas with the research thesis, it can be done in French or in English. At the doctorate studies, there are many different types of opportunities, and it can be done either in French or in English. We offer, as I mentioned earlier, the opportunity to do co-op internships, and that's all through the undergraduate level, but it can also be done at the master's or at the doctoral level. For the undergraduate, we offer a minimum of 1 year professional experience in the industry. The industry is something that's very close to us at ETS. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, we are a truly practical school with the co-op and research fields, and we have strong partnerships with the industry in Quebec, in Canada, and around the world, making students' experience all the more fulfilling. As you can see here, we have over 250 industry partners each year working on different types of projects, and we have 60% of our research activities are carried out in collaboration with the industry. Next slide, please. If you have any more questions about ETS or you are interested in working alongside with us, this is the email that you can contact us. Thank you very much. And I will let Memorial University, I believe, continue.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much. I hope everyone can hear me here. Very excited to be certainly here at the conference and part of the consortium giving this wonderful presentation. So we've continued our journey from coast to coast, from island to island, and we've landed in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. And I would like to acknowledge first and foremost that we are acknowledged that the lands on which Memorial University campuses are located are situated on the traditional territories of diverse Indigenous groups. And we acknowledge and respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, the Innu, and the Inuit of this province as well. So over the next 5 slides, I'll hopefully go into some of the research focus areas of Memorial University and give you a sense of who we are, where we're located, and what kind of research interests propel us. So next slide, please. So we are a university founded in 1925, just about 100 years in existence at this point. Memorial, a name given to us as we are a living memorial to those who fought during World War I and II, in the pursuit of education, that we never repeat the mistakes of the past. So that's kind of where our name came from. We've grown to about 19,000 students total, 15,000 undergraduate, 4,000 graduate at our university. And we are a multi-campus university. So within the city of St. John's, we actually have two campuses, the St. John's campus and our Marine Institute campus, which is a technical and trades and research-based campus in the marine industry and oceanic technologies. We are the sole public provincial public university in Newfoundland and Labrador. So all of, well, a great deal of the research activity and interests that rely on partnerships between government and the university go to Memorial University, and our activity is heavily influenced by our location adjacent to the Atlantic Ocean as well. Next slide, please. So we are very much a pull quote from our traditional research slides are, we are a people in place shaped by cold water, wind, and ice. So to that extent, a lot of our research focus, I say a good 40% of the overall research focus, is looking at cold ocean engineering and research, looking at marine safety, oceanic industries such as marine biology, aquaculture, technical discoveries through autonomous underwater vehicles. Our location is actually a really interesting one in terms of oil and gas exploration and research, and offshore oil and gas and mineral exploration is quite a large industry within the province. So a lot of industry and academic kind of linkages happen throughout that. But beyond the cold ocean research, we do have focus areas in genetics and ethnomusicology, boreal ecosystems research, environmental policy, and so forth. So we cover a very wide gamut of different research profiles and interests. Next slide, please. Okay, and just in terms of highlights, like I said, I know we want to keep this fairly short and brief. So where we're focused is certainly looking at new Indigenous research policies, a new AVP position for Indigenous research. Research funding has been quite strong in past years. I think about more than 130 million in research funding through 2019-2020, and certainly rank highly with Canada's top 50 research universities. Memorial is very keen at recognizing, and I think Dr. Dean mentioned this as well, the focus, as we all do, on regional development and enterprise and looking at our contributions to the community. So Memorial has developed a very strong and robust entrepreneurial ecosystem to help support innovative ideas, to help support industry and grow rural enterprise and develop it, as well as kind of urban enterprises. In terms of research facilities, we're not just limited to the campuses. Memorial has a vast array of research facilities throughout the province. We are an international university with a campus over in England as well, a study abroad campus that factors heavily into our internationalization efforts. And globally, we are very much known for our marine engineering, our nautical science, our linkages in the marine and oceanic industries, including architectural engineering, and so forth. I believe one more slide afterward. Next slide, please. Okay, and that is it for me. I look forward to the conversation going forward.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone. This is Jill Sherman at Lakehead University. I'm also the Secretariat of the CALAREO Consortium. So I'll be speaking a little bit now about some of the partnerships and mobility opportunities that we can assist with through CALAREO. In the past, one of our first agreements was with CONACYT in Mexico. So we have an agreement for a joint program of scholarships with CONACYT at the graduate level, as well as an MOU for research cooperation. We have also established a Global Link Research Award program with MyTax. This is bi-directional, so our students can either travel to Latin America or students can come here for our research mobility stays of 12 to 16 weeks. This is for every level of undergraduate student through postdoctoral fellows. Currently, the countries that are eligible under this program include Brazil and Mexico, Chile, Argentina, and Colombia. Award is for 6,000 Canadian dollars for them to come for 3 to 6 months. Next slide, please. And some of our other activities over the past couple of years, we've been in operation since 2017. So we're a relatively new consortium. So we're very proud that we've achieved these partnerships with Columbia Challenge Your Knowledge, which is a 31-member university consortium in Colombia, as well as a group of 6 universities in the state of Querétaro, Mexico. And these partnerships we've been working with to build them pretty intensively over the last 18 months since we've been working at home. Next slide, please. And just to give you some idea of some of the mobility funding opportunities that are available, either through a third party or through us. Global Affairs Canada, there's going to be a presentation by Global Affairs Canada following at the next time slot. So I encourage you to take a look at that as well if you're interested. There's the Emerging Leaders of the Americas, or ALAP scholarship, and we work with our partners to understand the rules and application process. It's for Latin American students to come to Canada for either undergraduate or graduate study or research. So we can work with either students who want to come for 1 or 2 semesters to study, or who want to come and do a research project. The funding for that is pretty good, but it's a one call per year for the following year. It's usually the call opens around February, March of every year. The other thing that Global Affairs Canada sponsors is the Faculty Mobility for Partnership Building Program. The call is actually open right now for 2022-23 academic year. And this is a scholarship outbound for Canadian faculty to visit Latin American institutions. And we believe this is a really important program for our faculty to get to know our partners in Latin America. It's considered a non-traditional destination for study abroad programs, and our faculty members feel more comfortable sending their students when they've had the chance to see the facilities and the research going on in our partner institutions. Another program, MyTax is also presenting here this week. I mentioned earlier our Global Link Research Award. So an important note about that is it's very, very flexible. There's no deadline. It's a year-round call. You would just need to have the student apply about 4 months in advance of the desired start date. And again, it can go either way. Our students can come do a research stay with you, or vice versa. MyTax also sponsors the Global Link research internships for undergraduate students. The competition for that recently closed, the calls for summer 2022. But it's an important program to allow undergraduates to come do a research stay at our member institutions. Next slide, please. And so, as I mentioned, I'm the secretariat for the CALAREO Consortium. I can be your primary point of contact. There's my email address. If you want to contact any of the speakers you heard today, or have other information about the consortium or our individual members, please feel free to send me an email. Thank you very much. So we will open for questions and discussion at this point.
Good morning. Thank you so much for, good morning. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for this presentation. I'm new to international relations here at UNOESC in southern Brazil. And I think there might be a lot of opportunities for partnerships here. I was wondering if you could tell me if we should enter in contact first to discuss partnerships between the two universities, or is it possible to contact you directly about some of these universities and their internships? I was going to use the word in Portuguese, estágios, but internships. We have a couple of students who are specifically looking for internships in engineering. So one of your universities really caught my attention to think about something like that. So I guess my question is, should we get in contact to talk more generally, or is it possible to contact you with very specific requests such as this?
You can do both. If warranted, I will direct you to the appropriate person at one of our member institutions. I can also let you know, for example, who has engineering programs and who doesn't amongst our members. So as I mentioned, the MyTex Global Link Research Award Program is one we directly administer. The others that I talked about are external, but we certainly assist our partners in terms of understanding program requirements and strategies for applications. So again, you can contact me directly, and we can either talk about these things, or I will put you in touch with the right person.
I will, thank you. And I see that Amelia came in, maybe because she had mentioned estágio at your university, yes?
Go ahead, Amelie.
Yeah, for sure. If you're interested in discussing further, I suggest that you contact Jill, as she mentioned, and then she can also give you the other contacts of universities that have engineering, and we can discuss further. And as she mentioned, some of the programs are not necessarily organized or managed by CALAREO, but there is the possibility for us to help you through the process if you're interested in discussing it further. I'm thinking that more specifically, for example, ELAP, which is a program that's very popular amongst our partners and that we work with closely. So there's always those opportunities.
Thanks.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
I saw a question come in from Upayet in Puebla, Mexico. Do you have any funding program for research? So the programs I mentioned earlier are for research, short-term research stays. These are either for students or the Faculty Mobility Partnership Building Program. Those help establish the research connections and collaborations to build from for research funding. We do not directly offer research funding. However, our goal is to build these research collaborations and assist our members and our faculty in building these research programs. So I hope that answered the question. Any other questions?
And kind of building off that, Marissa, it's Andrew Dean here, is as you said, the kind of funding we have are very much, very short-term stays, kind of seed funding in some sense, or helping you. But, once we start to see that maybe some kind of research collaboration is going, most of our institutions are operating out of the research offices. We can even find or help maybe find some kind of larger scale fundings that might be available through either your granting agencies or our granting agencies, or even combined.
Okay, it's a question about the when does the ALAP program open for applications? The Faculty Mobility Program, Faculty Mobility for Partnership Building Program, is open right now, and that's for our faculty to visit institutions in Latin America. The student ALAP program opens usually around February of every year, with applications due in March. So as you can imagine, that's a very hectic time for all of us. The Global Affairs Canada is the program sponsor, although our institutions have to submit the applications on behalf of your students. As mentioned, I believe it's at 11 o'clock, Global Affairs Canada is having a session about the ALEP program. So if you would like more details, it might be a good idea to try and attend that session. Any others? Well, if there's no further questions, I would invite you to stop by our virtual booth. It links out to our website where you can find more details and contact information for our members and information about some of the activities we've undertaken over the past couple of years. And again, feel free to contact me with any questions, and I can either answer for the consortium or put you in touch with our member institutions. Any final comments?
No, I just want to thank you all again, and certainly thanks to the organizers. No questions will go unanswered. We really hope that you have some, and I do see one, Larissa. Is there one question?
Yes, thank you. Hi, I'm from Mexico City. I work at the National Autonomous University of Mexico. And I was wondering, in case of making such a collaboration for research and also for students, do we have to go through CONACYT in order to develop a program, or how does it work?
So, we do have, as like I mentioned, a scholarship program with CONACYT. The students have to be accepted for their program before they can apply to CONACYT for the scholarship. We do recommend strongly that you contact CONACYT before applying to make sure that the program is eligible for their funding, as well as to understand their funding priorities. Even if a program is eligible, they may not fund it, right? As far as some of the other opportunities like the ALEP program, it's advised to have an MOU or student exchange agreement. That's one of the things that the ALEP program is looking for. But as far as MyTax, no prior partnership or has to be established for students to come through the MyTax program. The other thing is that at least at Lakehead, we have accepted students who have been funded by UNAM directly. So there are many different programs, and they all have their own individual rules. So if you have any questions about a particular opportunity, please feel free to contact me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would certainly say CONACYT does not have to be the filter for anything coming from Mexico. So, it does help on certain of our programs because we have a relationship with CONACYT. But, as Jill mentioned, there are many collaborations that happen directly with institutions in Mexico, and UNAM is one of them, with either one, our member institutions or CALAREO as a whole. So don't feel that it has to be blessed by CONACYT in some sense before.
That was my concern. Thank you.
Good. And we have one question from Juan Camilo Martinez from Bogota. The question is, do institutions need to be partners of CALAREO in order to apply? Or it depends on the program? And the answer is it depends on the program and the eligibility criteria established for that program. Again, CALAREO has a partnership with CCYK. If you happen to be a member of CCYK, those membership benefits make you an instant partner of CALAREO. If not, we can also feel free to contact me and we can discuss what opportunities you might be eligible for.
If no further questions, thank you all for listening to us today. Don't hesitate to reach out to again and grab that 10-minute coffee before the next session.
And thank you very much to Mario and Julian for helping us with the session and for everything about our participation in CAE. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. I will proceed to close this window.